This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Previously on Back to the Story.
You smell it. It's something that was wrapping food. So it was a ration wrapper of some sort. At first you don't see a bottom, nor do you see walls looking towards the side. As you move them further and further down, you get towards the end of the range. You can see there is water. It comes to a slow fall, gently swaying back and forth like a feather before into the water. As you guys look to each other and begin to move forward down the tunnel, everything goes black. You guys ready to hop back in to the death and destruction? As we fade back into the tunnel, with the light of Vesper shining through as you gather back around, you see one of the dead octopus things on the ground. The other one has been picked up by the spider, giant spider on the ceiling, and is slowly being spun in web.
Everybody
Should we be concerned about those spiders?
No, they're mine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah,
Amsen, you alright? And I kind of reach up and, try and fix his hair a little bit.
And he'll kind of, rub at, his wounds probably around his neck and chest and kind of area. And he's like, I'm doing okay. It hurt a little bit, but I should be fine.
Ezekiel?
Thanks to Vesper, I'm alright. But must say it's feeling a little dangerous down here, and I currently lack my ability to change my form. If you think we could spare a rest, I wouldn't mind one.
Well, how confident are we in the trail that we are following? If we're pretty confident in it, then I wouldn't be so worried about taking a rest. But if we're grasping at ghosts, then I'd rather try to keep going until we find something more solid.
I'm just wondering how this person got past all of these things without, the people in the catacombs and the rats and the...
Didn't they say he could be invisible?
Yeah, I don't know that it would matter with those since you can't even see where they're hunting.
Good point.
But they may not be able to see invisible things just through their own darkness. So that might have helped him. I mean, we did find that ration wrapper that seemed to be similar to the one earlier, so I feel fairly confident, but I don't need them. I still have plenty of magic at my disposal, and I'm not a bad warrior off it, but it does limit my versatility.
I think it would be a good idea to get a bit of a rest.
Isn't it to rest at the next opening? I don't know if we want to stay close to that water. Don't know what lies ahead either.
That's fair. I can keep those spiders for an hour, so I'll wave them over. Just keep walking. Come back if you see anything. And I'll let them get a couple-minute head start.
Okay. They clawing, one on the ceiling and then one on the side of the wall as they move forth, eventually exiting beyond the light.
Glad I'm not afraid of spiders.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys proceeding down this tunnel, or are y'all resting here? What are you doing?
I'm understanding it as we are going to scope out a little bit further. Is that right, Ezekiel?
Yeah.
And then kind of decide soon whether or not to take a break.
Okay. As you'll move forward, whoever's leading it up, give me a survival check.
Ball will go first since everyone's a bit roughed up.
I'll say the front two people can do it.
I'll be with Ball up front then.
Okay.
23.
18 for Ball.
Okay. As you'll move forth, you guys start to pick back up on some of the steps. You can tell they're moving as softly as they can because you see 1, 2 step, and then it's a couple feet before you find another. You can find these steps. As you're continuing forward, you come to where the tunnels move off, and there's 3 different openings. But with both of your rolls, you see where there are some rocks in the corner of one hallway that have been stacked up in an unnatural way. You move down that way and pick up on the steps once again. As you're moving down that hallway, you notice these steps become lighter than they were even before. Like they're intentionally moving quietly. It gets to the point where you see a step and then it's 10, 15 feet before you see another one. Eventually you follow it. Okay.
Stop us a little bit then and just mention that so that we're on alert in case there's any more dangers, if that's what he was trying to avoid.
And to clarify, did the spiders go this way as well? You said there was an open...
They went ahead of you, but you're not sure which direction they went.
Got it, okay. Do spiders leave a trail?
Not that you...
No. Not on the ceiling and the rock.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So, when we notice that, I think Ball will try to move ahead stealthily.
Okay. You guys roll stealth checks for me then.
Natural 20.
Hey.
So 23.
That's Scout.
Natural 0.
19.
Shit.
7.
16.
Okay.
I love that it's Vesper and Ball up front. It's like, let's be quiet. And Vesper disappears into the shadows. And Ball's
So Ball and Vesper, you guys are up front. You're following...
I trip over you.
The 6 or Meli. So you guys are up front. And you're following these footsteps, though they're very periodic. You get to a point where you see footsteps that backtrack in this same very careful manner, and you see where the trail would continue ahead, perhaps, and then you see where the same trail came back to where you currently are. You see the steps stop, as if they went forward, some unknown amount of distance, came back to this spot where you're at, and then you can't find another trail. As you guys are moving forward, Meli is reading on her book, knocks into Ezekiel, who bumps into Ball and gets hung up on one of his straps. You tug loose, and as you do so, Ball, your straps unhook as your chainmail falls to the ground. You can hear the noise kind of echoing down the tunnel.
Ball just looks around like, how do you... Like, when you expect something could go wrong, but Ball never expected it to go wrong in quite this way, and just slowly, awkwardly starts to put his chainmail back on.
You need some help with that.
Oops. I don't think we did a good job being very quiet.
I'd say we didn't.
Oh.
You see ahead, coming out towards you on the ceiling, a spider. Just one that comes. And kind of moves up to where Ezekiel is as Ball's putting his chainmail, clanking it back on.
I take it that means they found something.
Yeah. Okay. I want to look around where the footsteps come to a halt again. Mm-hmm. Just, even feel around the ground and wall, see if there's anything, hidden passage or something that we're missing.
I actually wanted to do the same thing.
You can both give investigation checks or one advantage, your choice.
Okay.
I will help Amsen.
Awesome. Right. I'm not using portent because my portent rolls are really terrible. So that is... Yeah, I don't know what dangers are here, so I'll save those. 16 investigation.
Okay. You look around, you can definitely tell they moved forward and then came back to this spot. You see no trapdoors beneath them. It's solid rock above, solid rock to the walls. There's a few support beams, but there doesn't seem to be any sort of hidden hole or trap or door or hatch whatsoever. Their feet were planted firmly here, and then they left without stepping on the ground.
All right. I have a sense that either they were snatched up, they teleported, or they somehow learned how to fly. Because I don't see anything around here.
Maybe they're like Ezekiel and they have wings sometimes?
Maybe. Anything
it's
up?
Not far-fetched. Look up.
This is like solid rock above. And that spider just moved towards you, Ezekiel. Clicking.
So we want to see where maybe he went to, and possibly whatever the spider found. Hey, buddy, click twice if it's bad. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. How long have we been proceeding since the last encounter?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Okay. He can stick around for a little while, so I'll keep him up.
All right, so are you all heading down the tunnel together?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's any hope of being stealthy at this point.
You guys continue as Ball's kind of latching back on. As you do so and you're moving through the tunnel, you're keeping an eye out for footsteps, and you see no tracks.
I'm looking up as we go.
Okay, you're continuing to look up. As you guys are moving forward, you do notice these things as you get closer. You see the first one against the wall. You see like a pod of translucent material, this sort of gelatinous Tide pod of colorless pearlescent liquid. It seems like there's something solid, an oval, large, maybe the size of a rugby ball, within this pearlescent sack. As you get closer, you can see a few other down this hallway. You can see a cavern of some sort opening up, or at least another room opening up ahead.
Are these eggs or something?
Certainly looks like it.
I guess.
Wonderful.
That's gross.
Vesper, Ezekiel, do you know what these belong to?
Boy, howdy, I wonder if we do.
Yeah, let's put our minds together. I'll assist you in spitball ideas.
Nature, right?
Sure.
13?
Okay. You get up to it, looking at it. Yeah, you think it could be a spider egg of some sort. It has that look, but as you put your light up to it, you can see something solid inside of the egg within the sack. Something with tendrils.
Oh. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's probably something kind of like the things we found. Do they seem to be connected at all, or are they kind of all off on their own?
They seem like separated.
Okay. Can I take out my rapier and kind of poke through into the egg?
Yeah, there's like almost an outer jello-like material, and poking through, you can feel where the egg gets a little harder, but it's more like cartilage membranous and not like a chicken egg. Okay. You can pierce that as well with some effort.
Okay, I kind of want to try and goop it out.
Scoop the egg out?
Yeah.
It's a little hard with a rapier, but you can do it if you take a minute. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a minute and look at it.
Yeah, you take a minute and you can get the egg out, and it's about the size of a rugby ball. And it's like this strange cartilage, oblong egg shape. Inside you can see tendrils kind of wrapping around as it sort of moves and pupates.
Gross.
That is disgusting, Vesper.
Are taking a better look at it.
She's covered in dragonborn guts and Darkmoon egg guts.
Yeah.
We need to go dunk you back in that lake again.
No thanks.
You hear something up ahead in the room beyond, a sucking sound. You can feel wind suddenly pull in that direction.
If this is the fucking babies of the vine monster from earlier, you can damn well be sure there's going to be a lot of I told you so.
And we'll deserve every second of it. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to smash the egg on the ground and see what comes out. Exactly.
You can see a small fetal version of a dark mantle, not quite fully formed. You see the flesh is still light, white, pearlescent. It hasn't darkened yet. It squirms a little bit, but is ineffective.
Nope, definitely like those things we saw back in the tunnel.
Okay. Well,
is it still alive on the floor?
It's squirming a little bit.
Can I kill it? I just don't want to just leave it there.
Yeah.
Easily.
I want to push forward to the front just to prepare for whatever that noise was, so shield and shillelagh up.
Okay. You move forward.
I'm holding firebolt.
The spider moves up next to Ezekiel. As you can kind of move up and you can see the cavern beyond, though the light kind of ends right towards a few feet back from the edge of this room. It's hard to see from beyond. You hear the same flapping noise you heard earlier. You hear it get louder.
And the walls are still sort of covered in those eggs?
You can see they're sporadically placed in this tunnel, but there seem to be in higher and higher concentrations the closer you get to this room.
And how wide is the tunnel we're currently in?
It's maybe 10 to 15 feet in places.
Okay, I'm just gonna brace. Should we go into the larger space? That feels better, right?
Probably.
I mean, it's coming. I'm gonna charge ahead and push into the rooms to try and get a lay of the land.
Okay. As you'll do so, everyone go ahead and give me an initiative roll. And I will move you guys to the map.
Whatever Ezekiel's doing, Bob will do as well, because Ezekiel was pretty beat up and he doesn't want, and he knows that Ezekiel's low on stuff, so.
I am neither, actually. Vesper healed me pretty well.
Okay. But you communicated something that you were out of some resources, right?
I don't have any beast shapes, which is unfortunate, but I'm still me as not bad.
All right, well, Ball's still going to run anyway because that's what Ball does.
Ball's, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway.
He gets there before I do.
Well, I'm rolling really low, so that's good for you guys. As you guys charge forth into this cavern, you can see a few flying small dark mantles, as you saw before. These are kind of detaching from the ceiling. You can see all around the edges of this room, there's a few stalactites coming up from the ground. And you can see clusters of eggs around the stalagmites and across the walls, and big clusters of them in the back. And towards the back, you see movement as you hear a louder something detaches, an entire stalactite that begins to fall towards the ground, but it rotates midair and comes to a stop as you see blinking open large eyes as you see a dark mantle matron that is massive. And I'll move you guys over as you see this before everything else goes by. Let me actually get you guys on the board. Amsen, did you get 13 initiative?
Yeah, 13 initiative with a 14 dex.
Gotcha.
I've got 30 feet of light on me and 60 feet of dark vision right now.
Okay. Vesper, do you have the higher dex over Ellory?
I don't think so. I've got a 16.
Ellory?
Mine is also 16.
I'll let Ellory go first, though.
21, Meli. So, Meli, you are up first as you all rush into this next room. You can see a large cavern with these dark mantles and one large one towards the back as I give Vesper her light.
Did you say that there was eggs on the wall?
You can see numerous of those egg pods lining the wall. You see clusters of them in the corners.
I don't suppose it speaks common, does it? I am going to... Oh wait, how close am I, sorry, to the eggs? Where are they?
I mean, you're maybe 10 feet to one pod, but there's maybe 30, 40 pods in this room. And then big clusters.
Okay. I'll move towards the closest one and hold my hand out to it, and if it comes any closer, then I will blast the pod.
Okay. So there's the dark mantles flying from the ceiling, a large one beyond, and so you're aiming at one of the pods?
Yeah, what I'm going to do is if it wants, I'm going to try and train it that if it comes near me, I'm going to blast a pod and kill a baby.
Gotcha. Okay. That's fucked up, and I gotcha. Okay. So, Meli, you're holding your action. You said Ray of Frost?
I'm going to do Burning Hands.
Burning Hands. Okay, so holding that towards a large cluster of these, waiting for one to come closer. And that will bring us up to Ball.
I just want to say, like in the high school yearbook, Meli would be the one voted most likely to turn into the big bad evil guy of a campaign. Well, I mean, Vesper would be the obvious choice, but it actually ends up being Meli.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Vesper already is the big bad evil guy of someone's campaign. Ball's gonna move forward. Do we see this, the big mama yet?
Depends on your sight. You may just hear it.
Okay.
A similar flying, flapping sound, but you may not actually be able to see it, but you can tell it's big.
So I'll move up.
Protruding from the darkness.
Alright, so I'll just move up with my move. And then I'll just kind of, I guess, use my action to move up another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll end my turn there.
Okay.
I can't see much, so I can't do anything. That's end my turn.
Ball rushes forward. That brings us up to this one, who's on the ceiling. And the ceilings are about 30 to 40 feet in various areas. As this thing flies over, it's going to drop down as something blackness explodes from this one, enveloping a sphere above Ball. The sphere reaches towards your head, Ball. You can crouch a foot or so and be under it, so you currently aren't blinded as that sphere is coming towards you.
Can I counterspell it? Sorry to interrupt. Would that work? Is it like a innate animal thing that it does?
You can try. It's not. It doesn't
you're
appear
already
to be
holding a spell.
casting a spell.
The caster also needs to be within 60 feet of you.
Oh, is it within 60 feet?
But this thing is moving towards Ball, so you can attack the pods if you wish.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. And I'm not going to make them make a dex save. They auto fail, so go ahead and roll damage to see how many decks you burn. Dark Mantle Genocide.
It's 8 points damage.
Okay. you burn, and this large cluster, maybe 10 or 12 of them, burst, sizzling before the pods break from the heat, releasing the goo onto the ground as you see some of the cartilage egg break, crack, as you can see, burning, singed, shriveling up like raisins, an entire cluster of them, maybe 12. And you do that as the Dark Mantle gets closer to Ball and then moves towards you, Ball. You're now currently blinded. And that brings us up to this thing. The Dark Mantled Matron, for those who can see it, massive, begins to fly down towards Ball.
If I am supposed to be able to see further out, I've got the dark vision from the Oni mask, but I just assumed the darkness I was seeing here was part of the darkness spell stuff.
So you are blinded, but I'll give you that. But you're currently enshrouded by darkness as the matron moves forward and is going. As this thing flies towards you, it moves towards you, Ball, as it sucks as you feel wind pulling towards you. Make a strength saving throw, Ball.
Natural 20.
You feel it pulling towards you, but you drive your heels into the stone, resisting it. And that will bring us up to Amsen.
Okay. See if I can... Okay, yeah, I can get everybody in. I'm going to run up ahead of Ellory. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of like that, so that I'm in the center of where the entire party is, behind and in front of me. And I think this is a good time to use my last 3rd level spell slot to cast Beacon of Hope. So that's my standard, and I think that's going to be my turn.
Okay. So you Beacon of Hope, and that will bring us up to this blue one here. We're just going to fly in.
My spider rolled a 12.
And this thing is going to dash as you see one moving up to you, Amsen. And as it gets there, that's all it can do, but suddenly blackness envelops you.
Sweet.
And that will bring us up to the spiders.
Okay, so Spider is going to, I guess, rush towards where Amsen is? Somewhere in there. Can it, if it gets close enough, within 10 feet, reach the creature?
Yeah, it feels like it should be able to reach it. Great. The spider rushes into the darkness, but with its blind sense, it can sense where the Dark Mantle is, striking out towards it.
Actually, it's going to stay 10 feet away from it, and it's going to try and web it.
Okay.
Go, web. 12!
That hits, actually.
It is restrained by the webbing.
Okay.
So if it needs those tentacles to fly, it falls.
Okay. And as it does so, it falls to the ground as the sphere of darkness falls as well. And that will bring us up to Ellory.
Okay, so I can see Mama, and I could see 2 of the dark mantles next to Ball before things went dark over there. Would I be able to drop a fireball down without hitting Ball, based on having seen him there just a moment before?
You can try, but you'd have to tell me where you're putting it.
Okay.
Because it's all just blackness. There's black spheres where you saw Amsen last and where you saw Ball last. The mantle, the matron, is now covered in blackness as well.
So I was thinking of centering it so forward and a little bit to the left of where I last saw Ball, so somewhere around here.
Okay, sure. You do so as a dex save.
Yes.
And it is going to use one of its heroic resistances to reroll that. That is not great, it still fails.
Okay.
And roll damage on that.
Heroic what?
It's not as good legendary resistance. They get advantage, not autosave.
Because I thought it was better and I was a little worried.
No, it's heroic, and then legendary, and then mythic.
Holy shit, there's a mythic? Mythic is you cast something and it auto passes, and instead you take the damage.
It reflects back.
So Zilla, you sling this bead. It goes into the sphere of blackness, and you hear the explosion. You see a few tails of flames licking out of the sphere, but otherwise you see nothing but the flames do.
That is 30 points of fire damage. If it failed, half that for success. And since I'm not sure if I hit Ball or not with that, I'm going to go ahead and use a sorcery point to let him automatically make that save if he has to.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Vesper.
Okay, so you said the sphere of darkness fell when that thing hit the ground. Can I see any part of Amsen?
You can't. You can't.
Shit. Okay. This is fun. This is fun, guys. I'm having a great time. Okay, what can I see? And where do I need to be? And I can't see Big Mama because she's in her own spirit, looks like. Right?
You cannot see her. But you can now see part of Ball.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. And I can see this guy past the sphere, or nah?
No, not... Actually, you can, because it's high up.
Okay. I would like to then cast Toll the Dead on that one.
Okay. Wisdom?
Wisdom.
This is 6.
That's not going to do it, my friend. But it's still the first damage it took, so it's only 2d8. So, 8 necrotic damage.
Okay. See the flying thing suddenly twist and turn as one of the tentacles just drops limp, gray, and dead.
Cool. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon right behind it.
Okay.
Try and smack it with that.
Do it.
Nope. 12. So that hit.
That hits.
Which is for 9 force damage.
Okay. As the bow suddenly appears, slamming into it. Knocking it off course, but still flying down towards your group.
Okay, and then I'm gonna get out of this little cluster. And go 5, 10, 15, 20, and just kind of get my back to this.
Got it. You run around. As this one wounded is still going to move down towards Ezekiel and friends. And we'll get there, and we'll just... as the blackness protrudes. And that will bring us up to Ezekiel.
Okay. How close to the ground was he before he made his bubble?
He was pretty high up, so he's now hanging maybe 10, 15 feet above, 12 feet above the ground.
All right. I don't know if this is... I am going to...
And Ezekiel, you're currently...
Yeah.
Currently blinded as well.
Yeah. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to...
Meli, you're on deck.
Back up out of the darkness, and I am going to try a 3rd level flaming sphere.
Mm-hmm.
To see if if the fire appears through it, or if it even still affects it. I'll put it right on the edge to see if it helps at all.
Okay. The edge of the creature or the sphere of black?
The sphere. I'm more just trying to push through the darkness.
Yeah. You create this flaming sphere on the edge. Looks like the light hits it, and it's like hitting a wall. It doesn't proceed beyond it.
Okay. Damn it. That's my turn. The spider's gone.
Oh no, the spider is good. The spider's gone. Were you leaving the sphere at the edge, or were you moving it?
If it goes in, it'll probably go away, so...
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. That will bring us up to this thing that is going to lower down towards you, Ball, becoming darkness. That is a 23 to hit, Ball.
I'll use my react. I'll use my reaction so it doesn't hit.
Okay. You feel the tentacles wrapping around you, and there's suddenly a burst of energy, flaming and furious, that pushes it back and off you. And that will bring us back up to Meli. Ball, your own deck. So Meli, the cluster of eggs are burst and burnt, as you see just spheres of blackness and conflict beyond them.
How high up is this sphere of darkness?
Last you saw it was about 10, 12 feet above before it went dark.
If I move there, and then burning hands in that general direction.
Sure.
Try and hit it.
Yeah. That is not great. That is a 10.
That fails. That's going to take 10 points of fire damage.
As Meli rushes up and just puts her hand towards the edge of the shadow wall in the darkness. You can see flames just immediately around her hands, and then nothing as the blackness. Suddenly, you can now see the light and flames of Meli's hands. You can see the sphere fade away, and then a burning hunk of flesh fall out of the ground.
And that's my turn.
And that brings us up to Ball. You're in darkness. One is attacking you. You can feel the matron flying nearby.
Okay, so I want to try to Ball's going to try to push out the darkness, and what he's going to do is he's going to use his, with this bonus action, do Mantle of Flame, but he's going to use his last 3 sorcery points to kind of give it that radiant push that we talked about. And what that does is basically benefits, whenever I do the fire damage that's supposed to do extra fire damage, it does radiant instead.
So as the flames roar around you, first hot with embers and coal, they begin to turn into these silver-white flames that roar around with the light glowing out, then spreading and filling, pushing against the darkness around you. It doesn't quite burst through, but you can feel the oppression lift somewhat in your blinded state.
And then with the thing I messaged you, can I also do that as that new thing as an action?
Yes.
Okay. The thing is, I don't know if Paul necessarily knows he can do it, so I was wondering if I can kind of mix it into when he tries to push this out.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you do that, the energy bursts from you in this tornado of radiant flame, and as the radiant flame burst around you into a storm, slowly the rest of you can see, even through trailing out of the area of darkness, you can see burning embers, a firestorm, burning around where Ball was. You've seen him before move like this, but it was normally just him on fire. You can see the fire has spread beyond, singeing the ground, burning the moss and the moist, strange material and goo upon the ground, burning it instantly in this flame of embers and fire. These things need to make...
I think it's on their turn.
Starts their turn. Okay.
Yeah.
And that will bring us up to this thing which is dead, and to the matron, which will have to make a save. That is a 11.
It has to be to 14. So that will be 22 fire and 3 radiant.
Okay. You can feel Ball, the tentacles moving towards you, beginning to reach for you, and you can see and hear them being seared as they try to press towards you. It is going to shift and fly down towards you anyway. And it is going to try to wrap its tentacle around you and crush you, Ball. That's a natural 1. It's going to try to do it again. That is a 25 to hit.
Shit. Yeah, I can't do anything to stop that.
Okay. So he wraps the tendril around you. You are currently grappled and restrained, and you take 10 bludgeoning damage as one of the tendrils just wraps around you.
He'll do a Constitution save, and then he'll take 3 radiant for
touching you.
Touching me. Yeah. Or yeah, she'll take. Yeah.
That'll bring us up to Amsen.
I just barely make it.
Okay. I'm going to run out of the sphere. I don't feel very safe in here. So Amsen would run this way. See a dead dark creature, be a little bit surprised. And he's going to run around this sphere of dark that he used to be in, see that there's just more spheres of dark, not be very happy. As a bonus action, he'll get out his Shade Saber, just so that he has it out. And then as an action, he's just going to throw a firebolt into, he's going to guess the center of the large, weird, dark thing.
Yeah, you form it, slinging it in. Go ahead and roll an attack roll at disadvantage.
Okay. It's not a good one. Yeah, at least that one's not worse. Sure, I'll let that happen. That's a 9.
Okay. You sling the fire, it hits into the sphere of black and it disappears.
That's my turn.
Okay. Immediately after that, you see the sphere of black moving towards you.
Did it break its restraint?
You know what? It did It did not. I think 10. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's a 13. I don't know what the spider's DC is, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. 12.
Okay, so it does break it out, but uses its action to do so. Just its movement to get over to Amsen, not quite able to attack yet. And that will bring us up to Ellory with Vesper on deck.
I don't like seeing that thing chase after Amsen, but even more than that, I don't like seeing Ball in the middle of the darkness created by that matron. So I think I'm going to shoot a couple beams of Eldritch Blast into the center of the big sphere.
Okay, go ahead and make those at disadvantage.
So that would have been good. The first one is a 13 to hit.
Just barely hits.
Oh, okay. And the second one is 19.
Hits.
So that will be 11 points of force damage.
In these things into the sphere. Luckily, the target is big, whatever is beyond there. And that will bring us up to Vesper. You're behind the stalactite.
Okay. But I can kind of see what happened with Amsen. So I'm going to move my spiritual weapon towards where I last saw him.
Sure.
And it doesn't need to see my target. Should I do disadvantage on the attack roll?
It's a good question. I kind of have a feeling that you're attacking it. Let's see.
Yeah, because it just says melee spell attacking against a creature within 5 feet, so I would imagine...
But I think it's... Let's see.
Disadvantage just because I can't see it?
Yeah, I think because you're attacking with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so disadvantage.
Yeah, fuck. No. Of course the second one was a 19. Yeah, not with a 9, I'm guessing.
No, not enough. And you sling off and don't hear any wails of pain. What else for you?
Fuck. I'm going to go back around this way, then I'm going to go 5. 10, 15.
You can see the edges of the spheres of darkness, and beyond them you can see a swirling storm of ember and burning and flames.
Great.
Much bigger than you've seen on Ball before.
Where's like a 30-foot spot away from... yeah, this is kind of away, since I can't quite see Ball. I'm going to use Thaumaturgy, and just make like the sound of voices in that direction.
Okay. Yeah, you do so. Make the sound of voices.
Try and distract the dark mantles, maybe.
Sure.
Hopefully.
Sure. You do so. Is that it for you?
Yep.
And Ezekiel.
The things I can't see. And I'll be right back.
Okay. That brings us up to Ezekiel.
Okay. So I guess with my bonus action, I'm going to just push the flaming sphere into the darkness and see if it is dispelled or not.
Doesn't seem to be. You can still hear it burning.
Okay.
You can't see it.
It doesn't exactly help. So I will move, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to have moved the sphere between me and the center of this orb, which I don't even know. It doesn't even. I'm just going to try and throw a thorn whip towards the center because I got nothing else.
Okay. Go ahead and attack. What's the range on that? 15 feet?
30. Actually, it might be.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually pretty long. Yeah, 30.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and attack with disadvantage. You can kind of hear flapping, but it's a lot's going on, so you can attack in the general direction.
16.
That actually hits. You sling off towards the flapping, and you feel it wrap around something flying.
So 11 piercing damage, and it is pulled 10 feet towards me, maybe near the fireball.
You know what? I like that. So that's what happens. Go ahead and roll damage on the fireball.
Okay.
That's cool.
That is, I did it at 3rd level, so that would be 3d6. 9 fire.
Okay. As you pull, you can hear it scream in pain before the blackness surrounding you goes out. As Amsen and Ezekiel, you can now see the burnt body of something slammed into, and then a sphere of burning embers next to Ezekiel. And that will bring us up to this one, who's going to attack Ball, who is restrained. So that is 17 to hit you, Ball.
That won't hit.
That is not, of course. And brings us up to Meli again. You now see there's only the large sphere and then a smaller one kind of half joined with it.
Can I throw a ray of frost in the general direction?
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and roll with disadvantage.
15?
That hits, actually. Good roll damage.
I think it's 13 points of damage.
13?
Yeah.
Fling the frost into it. And that brings us up to Ball. And Ellie, you're on the edge of burning embers from where Ball stands. And Ball, it brings us up to you, burning with fire, a large tendril wrapping around you, restraining you.
So whatever attacked me last turn, was it in the sphere then? Or like in my Tempest?
Yes, and actually at the start of its turn, it needs to make a save. That is a 12.
That will fail. So it'll be 17 fire and 3 radiant.
You see the little one next to you drops out, burnt to a crisp, like that scene in Terminator.
Sweet. And then I will blindly attack at whatever it is that's like wrapped around me.
Yeah, go and attack with disadvantage. And what are you attacking with?
Can I attack with my weapon, or?
Using a two-handed weapon is going to be pretty hard. It'd probably get a little bonus to the AC, but you can try.
Yeah, I think I will anyway.
Okay. So, yeah, using the glaive, trying to, with your arm squeezed, trying to stab and jab at it.
So I'm assuming it's disadvantage to begin with?
Disadvantage, yeah.
12.
That would just miss. You try to, but it just squeezes harder, preventing you from moving.
All right, that's the end of my turn then.
That'll bring it up to it. It needs to make a save at the beginning of its turn. Actually, it rolls kind of well. 16.
So that will save, and I think it takes half. Let me just check.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's half damage. So half of that is 8.
Okay. And then it's touching you, so it takes an additional how much?
3 radiant.
Okay. So this tendrils that you can't see wrapping around you as you're a burning storm of embers. It squeezes against you. Advantage. That is a 19 to hit you, Paul?
That'll just hit.
Okay. That is 10 bludgeoning damage. And it will move towards Meli. And that is a 18 to hit you, Meli.
Shield? Or would that not work? So I technically can't see it coming.
You can use shield.
Then I'll use shield.
Okay. Does that make it not hit you?
Yeah.
Okay. So the tendril wraps around you, and as it does, you cast the spell, bursting this arcane glyph of abjuration and shield, pressing it off you, freeing yourself.
Oh, wait, what number did you say?
I think it said 18.
Oh, then yeah, it wouldn't work.
Okay.
I did my last one.
So instead, the deal is 11 bludgeoning damage, and you're currently restrained and grappled. And that will bring us up to Amsen.
Okay. This doesn't look good. All of a sudden, the big black sphere is right in front of me. Oh no. Okay. So I'm going to, again, throw a firebolt towards the center of this big sphere.
Okay. And roll with disadvantage.
Okay, that's a good number. That is not bad. That is a 17.
That will hit.
Hey. Ooh. That's not good damage, though. 5 fire.
Burning, that will bring us... unless there's something else.
Yeah, that was my standard. I'll move over close to Ezekiel, just kind of like a little bit behind him.
Okay, on the edge of the burning storm. The matron is dragged Ball along, bringing Vesper, Ezekiel, and Meli into the storm, though. Can you... We'll see if you can...
Can I see Ball?
Them. You can't see Ball, but you see the flames surrounding him coming out of the edge of the sphere.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, that'll be my turn.
And that'll bring us up to Ellory with Vesper on deck.
So first thing I'm going to do is move to the left a little bit, about 15 feet, just so that there's less danger of me hitting one of my friends based on where I saw everybody last. And then I'm going to try to cast all three rays of Scorching Ray at the matron.
Okay, go ahead and roll a disadvantage.
First one's 10.
Misses.
Second one is 13.
Just hits.
And the third is 16.
Hits as well, 2 hit. These flames disappearing into the darkness. 2 of them exploding against some mass at the center.
Well, I've had better damage rolls, but that is 12 points of fire damage.
Slamming, and you can hear the explosions of the fire within, but you see none. Anything else for you?
That is it.
Brings us up to Vesper. You're standing in a swirl of embers.
Oh boy.
And you actually have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
No, 8.
Sorry. That's 17 fire and 3 radiant.
Okay, so I'll take 3 radiant, and then the fire is halved because I'm resistant.
So it should be 8.
8 total?
Mm-hmm. 8 fire and then whatever, the 3 radiant.
Okay. So 52 minus 11. Cool.
As these embers and storm burn around.
Cool. Well, might be about to just waste one of my big spell slots, or I might be able to do something really nice. So, I already can't see this thing, so I'm gonna hold out my hands and close my eyes, and I'm gonna pray to Ayin and to Diether to guide my strike, and I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt at 3rd level and try and hit the Big Mama.
At 3rd level, okay. Go ahead and add a disadvantage.
Okay, that was good. Was scared. And that's a natural 1.
You reach your hand out, and as you close your eyes to fire the guiding bolt, the flames lick and burn. You can feel coals of burning mass slamming into the side of your face. You resist some of it, but it's still able to burn, and you wince as the flash leaves your hand, entering into the darkness and dissipates.
Cool.
And that will bring us up to Ezekiel, unless you want to move.
Yeah, I'll get out of this shit.
Okay.
How far back does it go?
It's the yellow.
I don't see any yellow.
Okay. 5 feet to the right, and you'll be out of it.
I will then do that.
Yep. And that'll bring us up to Ezekiel. Make a dexterity save if you're in the flames.
Great.
The storm of embers.
5.
Oops. That'll be 21 fire and 3 radiant.
Do I have... I will reaction cast Absorb Elements to have that.
So now the 10 fire.
So all of it halves, because I'm already resistant to radiant.
Oh, okay.
So it's just 12.
12.
Great. And then I don't think I can move my little flaming sphere far enough. So I'm just gonna back up out of that shitstorm a little bit. And
Is flaming sphere concentration?
yes, but I did that. That was my 18.
Oh, yeah, I see it. My bad.
And then guess I'm gonna hold my action to see if anyone really hurt. Nope, because that's a bonus action. I can't do that either. I'm just gonna helplessly stare.
Okay. Ezekiel, you frustratedly back out of the fire, standing next to Amsen on the edge of a swirling storm of embers. And that'll bring us up to this, which is dead. And to Meli. At the start of your turn, make a dex save at disadvantage as you're currently restrained by the matron, being held in the flames.
19.
So you take half of how much damage, Paul?
Wow. So that's 27 fire and 3 radiant. So half of that would be 15.
I meant to ask you, but I didn't want to fuck everything up. On my sheet, I was on 23 hit points. Is that from earlier today when I wasn't here last session, or not? Did we have a fight last session?
We did, but I don't think the rats ate her. I think that was from the library fight that you were there for.
That is
So
correct.
you
And Meli
should
did
have
not
been
get
back
touched
up.
last fight.
I should have been back up. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
good.
you got touched.
So I should still be up, I think.
Okay.
You take half of this, though, so you should be up either way.
It was 15, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah, 15.
So I should still be up.
So cinders and embers are slamming into your face and your side, being held by the tendril. In this blackness you can't see. You just feel fire and it's squeezing.
Do I know where Ball is?
Yeah, you can hear him. He's right next to you. He seems to be wrapped up as well. He's
So
within
if I-
5 feet or so.
If I cast Burning Hands, I know enough to not hit him.
You can try to not hit him. Yeah.
I will try to not hit him.
Okay.
And I will cast Burning Hands at 3rd level.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say you can do it. You can do it. Dex save. Okay, heroic resistance. That's why. That's a 7, even using resistance.
Oh, I don't fail.
Might have accidentally moved myself just like half a square to the side.
Okay. So, Meli, you reach out with your hands squeezing through the tendrils, releasing the flames from your hands towards the center of the sphere, dealing
20 points of damage.
20 points of damage. How do you want to do this?
As I'm
You're
restrained to just get my hands like that. Just sort of pointed out, but my palms are together because I can't really reach, and then just flick my hands forwards and throw the flame out.
Okay. And as you do so, the flames roar out. The darkness fades, and for a moment, the rest of you all see this massive dark mantle of flame between Ball and Meli. In one tendril, it has the flaming tornado that is Ball, and in the other tendril, it is holding Meli, who's struggling to get her hands out beneath. You see roaring flames coming out of her hands as you see the lights of the eyes flicker out, and it begins to fall to the ground, the tendrils unraveling, releasing Meli, rolling off to the side, releasing Ball, who stands up as well, flames roaring around him in a storm of embers and cinder.
And I am staring at Ball.
And Ball is just actively hacking away at the tentacles, kind of in a bit of a frenzy.
I want to move away from Ball's flames.
Do so, yeah. You see the bodies around Ball of the matron and the other dark mantles are being burnt to a crisp as he, in a rage, just hacks with the glaive over and over again at the body as it slowly burns to a crisp.
Ball. Ball.
Once it's kind of obviously been beaten down, Ball just kind of like heaving just from the exertion, kind of tries to look through this like tornado of fire in the direction of Vesper's voice. Is it easy to see through this fire?
It's not clear. There's a storm of cinders and stuff, so you can see your hair being wafted to the side with the occasional ember and cinder or something being flown ash throughout.
So maybe, kind of like the rage combined with this tempest, he looks through and calls out in the direction of Vesper's voice and says, "I can't see you."
I take a deep breath. It's going to be stupid. And I'm going to walk in and I'm just going to take Ball's hand. And just go in giant. I'm just going to say, "It's over. It's okay." Take whatever fucking damage that deals me.
All right, do a dex save.
Yeah. No. I wasn't really trying either ways.
All right, so it's 11 fire and 3 radiant.
And as Vesper, you push through the flames, walking through it, hand outstretched, speaking in giant to Ball. You can see his silhouette just resounding in flames as you move towards him because you can see the glowing rune on his chest in flames. You reach out, grab his hands, wincing in the flame of the pain of the flames, and as you take his hand, the embers, you hear of various ash, coal, and embers that were in the air kind of fall to the ground around as you see the flames slowly reside back. You can still see the flames in Ball's eyes, his hair still moving, but the storm around him has resided within him. The rune still glowing on his chest.
Yeah, I'll just pull him into a hug.
I think Ball's kind of doing one of those where he doesn't really hug back, he just kind of stands there and he's looking at kind of the carnage around him. I assume he looks over and he just sees kind of like soot on
you see
all over
burnt.
Vesper and Meli and Ezekiel and everything else. It's in a bit of shock. Was this me?
I want to say no, but it came from you.
They tried to push up the darkness.
Well, it worked.
That's all I thought I did.
Are you okay? This has been happening a lot lately.
This is new.
This is new, but
I thought I was okay.
I'll look back to the others. Let's talk about it later.
And as you turn back towards the group, you see Ezekiel has been moving the flaming sphere around the room, burning the eggs and the pods around the clusters. And as you come back, decide which direction to head after this to recover. That's where we're going to leave off, and we'll come back next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. Download the app and subscribe or favorite us there. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back2_the story. If you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. And if you'd like further information about the campaign, the player characters, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on either Twitter or our Tumblr website. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.